Okay, let's go forward and I'll screen share here. Can move on. So as I understand it, today is an introduction day to BillTracker for people who haven't used BillTracker. It's been a while. So I'll kind of go over some of the basic features, some of our updates to the system, and then please feel free to ask questions in the comment box. Sherry will be tracking those down and answering them, and if she needs to pun it to me, she can do that, but I have a challenging time tracking those while I'm demoing. So, all right, launching. When you log on to BillTracker, you will land onto this calendar page, and you'll see a few things over here. You'll, as many of you know, you will receive a calendar invite for all of the bills that you are tracking. Those will come into your email every day. And then if you decide to delete those or you're not getting those invites, you can come in here and add those individually into your calendar here with this calendar toggle or icon. And then here next to it is this lovely movie projector. This is new to us this year. This will allow you to watch the committee here with this projector. So if you would like to sit at home and stare into the abyss of committees, you can come and do that right from this screen now. So also there will be archives into the system, which I will show you in a minute as well. All right, and then down here you'll see this third reading list. That will be for all the bills in both the chambers, in the Senate and the House, for third readings will be listed here, and that's for whether you're tracking the bill or not. Those will be included. Okay, so now I'm going to pause really quick and take you to the back of the firm. So hopefully you all have received your login credentials, and you can get onto BillTracker. I'll go quickly through this. If you're a firm administrator and you have some follow-up questions, let us know. But just a couple of points here. One is that you can come in and, as a firm administrator, you can come in and name your different settings. So we can change this to department if we would like. Division, I'll just keep division today, and subject area or issue area, whatever you would like. You can come in here and change these labels. So this will be the labels on how you want your under your divisions or your departments. So it's kind of main label here. And then take an opportunity here, if it's not in there already, to upload your logo. That way, when you send out reports from the system, they will have your department logo on there and not my mostly tacky BillTracker logo. So go ahead and do that at any point. Now let's come down. The next order of business you're going to want to do is come down to your divisions or departments. And the first thing you want to do is either clean some of these up or add a new division. So to add a division, you go up to add a division here, click on that. You can name a division. I will, I always say I'm going to think of something before I get in here, and then I can never remember anything. We'll do revenue, which I'm sure I already have in here. Revenue division, we'll save that division, and now you'll see I've got my revenue division down here. So it's super easy to add your divisions in there. Divisions are essentially the layer in which you're going to start filing these bills. So think of them as file folders or folders on your computer. This is where you put all the issues and all the bills that pertain to that particular issue in. So think kind of high level on this one. The other thing you should think about before you walk into session is cleaning up some of these divisions. So if you're a firm administrator, they might be called departments, but you'll want to go in and you can click on the pencil icon here, which universally in our system means edit. You can come in here and deactivate these divisions if you would like. You'll see all I did was go to pencil and then click on division active if I want it active, or unclick it if I want it deactivated. I'm going to keep this one active for today, but now is a good time to go through and start to figure out which ones you don't need for this coming legislative session, and then some issues that now are perking up that you didn't have to deal with the last legislative session. So, so keep that in mind as the firm administrator. The next thing we need to do here is go into our users and solve any of these user issues. So you'll see up here, I've got add a new user. I come in, add a new user, give it a first name. Let's see here. These are made up people. So my good friend Shannon here will do shannon@fakeemail.com. That's all you need to do. Then I need to come down here and decide if she's a firm administrator or a bill manager. Firm administrators are the people that set up the system, add the users, add the divisions or the departments. They really have all of the kind of office manager type of roles. This second level here, these bill managers, those are the individuals that track the legislation. They edit everything in the system. They send out bill reviews. They really have unfettered access into the system. So they're quite they move around in the system very freely. If on this instance, we don't want Shannon to have all of the user permissions in the system, we can give her a very specific permission level. And to demonstrate that bill manager, you'll notice when I click on bill manager, all of those user permissions dry up, and that's because they have them all. But let's say Shannon here, we don't want her to have every permission possible. We can come in here and give her very specific permissions. So we can come in here and say, okay, we want her to be able to edit tracking. We want her to be able to create and add materials into the section. Maybe we want her to be able to create notes. Maybe you want her to be able to view fiscal impacts. We want her to be able to search all the bills. EOS means end of session notes. Maybe we want her to be able to view and edit end of session notes. Maybe we want her to use not shared notes. We just want her to be able to create. Down here in bill reviews, perhaps we want her to be able to view and edit any bill reviews, governor reviews, maybe she just reviews those, and probably we won't give her vote tracking options. And now we need to assign her to a particular department. So we'll come down here and say, okay, or division. We'll come down here and say, all right, she is got these permissions to see all of this stuff in these 3 divisions. So now you'll come in and or 4 divisions, and now she will be able to edit tracking, add materials for these specific 4 divisions. The next thing we're going to need to decide for Shannon here is where she will be located as a bill reviewer. So when I go into the system and want to ask somebody for a bill review, I need to make sure her name there is an option. So by doing that, I can add her to these particular divisions so that when I track under these admin and budget divisions, she will be listed there as an option. So looks like I'm missing one in my fake division world. But you can also add her as a reviewer in others. They don't have to match up at all. She could be a reviewer in more divisions than she's able to see. All right, this preference area, I tend to leave that blank when I'm filling out users, and I'll show you how that pertains to you individually. They can always come in and edit their preferences at the end. So then you just come here, click save, and now we'll see Shannon up here and her different levels of permission, okay? So one key thing here that we've added this year is this cloning button. What this allows you to do is say, okay, now that I've set up all of Shannon's individual permissions, I would like to clone those exactly. So I go into clone here, and now you'll see I just need a first name, last name again, and a username and email. And then all of those specific permissions that I gave Shannon in those specific divisions are now listed here. So I don't have to go back in and complete all those specific permission levels again. They'll already be loaded in here. Okay, the next thing we've got here is this pencil key. What this allows you to do is edit any of your users. So I strongly recommend you going in before session, looking at this list and deciding whom is no longer with your agency and who you need to deactivate it. The reason you want to do this and keep on it is that when you go to do reviews or you go to track bills, if you have a bunch of people that no longer work at the agency, it will really clean up your screen if they aren't listed there. So spend some time here, come into this actions and either enable them like I'm doing here with this John Doe character, or come down and say, you know what, this person here, Cameron, here, I'm just going to deactivate him right here, come down here and save, and now he no longer logs into the system, and then he won't be an option for me to pick when I have to send out reviews or bill manage and stuff like that. So keep that in mind as you're heading into session. So that's the reviewer, or the users, excuse me. So the next level of individual that we have are these reviewers. So users get a login into the system. They can come in and do whatever they want in the system, that's as long as it fits its permissions. But we also have this third level, which is a reviewer. Reviewers do not log on to the system. They barely know BillTracker exists. They just know it's there when they get the bill requests, the review requests. So what you can do for these people is come in, go to add reviewer. Again, just give it a first name. Let's see, maybe Betty White is going to be our. And then we just need an email address here. And then you'll want to come down here and assign Betty the review permissions. So for today, maybe Betty, we want listed for all of our bill reviews, fiscal impact reviews, governor reviews, and if we want her to be able to maybe receive some of the tracked bill notifications, I'll click there. And then go ahead and assign the division in which you want her to be available for you to choose from. And then click save, and now you'll see good old Betty White listed here and her review options. Again, this is a good practice for this year, but it would be helpful to go in and take any of these people off the list that you would like, and you can just delete them with this trash can. All right, so that's the kind of 3 different levels of users. You've got your bill managers and firm administrators at the top there. They can see and do everything in the system. Then you've got that second level of user that just has individual permissions that you give them. And then the third level is this reviewer that doesn't really have a login at all into BillTracker. All right, the next thing here is this fancy user group. This is an underused part of our system, so I would really like to talk a little bit about it because I think it could be very helpful. As you're assigning out reviews, you'll notice that you might come into an issue like affordable housing or something, where you have affordable housing people that you need to talk to review a bill, and maybe there's always the same 5 people. You can come in here and add a user group. I already have an affordable housing group, but we'll call this the main budget group. I don't know. So this might be a group of individuals that I'm always asking budget questions on. I pick that I want it to be a bill review group. I'll pick the division in which these people live, so maybe the budget division. These are all the reviewers that have some kind of review permission in our system under the budget committee or under our budget division. So I'll click through and add these people, the people I would like to be in my bill review group, and then I save it. And now what happens is the next time I want to go and request a review from those 5 people in our budget group, I just have to click on the budget group option. The system will now individually send out those 5 reviews. People will individually fill them out and send them back into us. And we'll just file them within the bill. So you don't really, it's a little bit of a work saver for you. So just try to think of it before you go into session if there's some groups that you would like to, people that you would like to group together on some of your issues. Okay. And then finally down here under the review form, this is a great opportunity for something that you should do pre-session is add in any of your updated review forms. So you can come in here, delete your old forms if you would like, and then add any new forms. What these will do is when you add a form here, you will pick the type of form that you would like. So if you want a form to be attached to a bill review, you'll come in here, say this is a bill review, give it a name, and choose the bill review file, and then save it, and now it will be saved in here. Also, a fiscal impact reviews. If you want things attached to your fiscal impact review email, you need to come in here, add the forms here, fiscal impact, give it a name. Maybe this is the 2021 FIS Excel or whatever you have. Update it, save it, and now it will be attached to every fiscal impact review request that you have. So some housekeeping that you should either ask your firm administrator to do, or if your firm administrator to start to work through. All right, so let's go to the fun part, into the bills section of the software here. I always feel relief when I'm done with that user part. Okay, so you will notice when you log on to the system on Sunday and you click the word bills that you got 1,800 brand new bills listed into the system here. So they will all be in orange, as you have not tracked any of them yet. So you can see we can learn a little bit of information here. We've got the bill number, the version of the bill. So as the bills change over time and get new bill versions, you'll see maybe 2011 here will become bill version A or engrossed or something like that. So keep that in mind, that will change. You've got the relating to clause, and then you've got your summary statement here. This is, of course, who the representative or the senator that introduced the bill. You can read the PDF here if you would like to look at the PDF of the bill. And then over here, we've got these unread red toggles. So at any point, you can come in here and say, okay, I acknowledge this bill, but I'm not going to track this bill. So it's a nice way if you're going through these bills to kind of look at there, maybe add, maybe you don't need to track these, but you want to just say that. That is specific to the user logged in. So if Shannon logs into her system over here, she will not see that I have checked on those bills. So keep that in mind. I think it's a nice little like leaving point on where you were, kind of like a bookmark. Okay, but let's say we do want to add a bill, some bills into the system. We've got a couple of options here. You can quick add anything into our system with this pencil button, and that will add one directly into the system. You can come in here and add it into a queue, which I will do here momentarily. We'll go down and you can say, okay, I do want to add that into the queue. I do want to look at this. And I do want to look at this. So this is not committing us to tracking the bill. This is merely saying, okay, I think I'm going to want to track this. We're going to put it into our queue, and then we'll work through it in a couple minutes or whenever you want to come back. And I clearly still have one in the queue from my last demo. So now we'll come up here to the tracking wizard up here. You'll see I've got 6 items in my tracking queue. I've got a couple of different options and decisions I need to make here. Pay attention to these 3 buttons over here. They're pretty helpful. You can say, you know what, I actually don't need to track this bill, House Bill 2030. So I'm going to remove this bill from the wizard. That just takes it back into your bill stack. It will be orange again. But I do encourage people, put as much stuff as you want into the tracking wizard, because you can make these decisions so easily that you don't need to track them any longer once you're there. You can remove all these bills from the wizard. So if you're like, at the beginning of session, you should, before you start tracking anything, get rid of all the stuff from previous sessions. And then my favorite button here, the skip the bill one, that will move that bill to the end of the tracking queue line. If you need to group think with someone about what to do with that bill or where to file it, you can just skip it for the time being and come back to it. All right, but let's say we do actually want to track this bill 2025. So we'll see here, we've got the relating to clause, you've got your summary here. We could read the bill again with the bill text. So now we need to do a couple things. We need to figure out the bill manager we want. So we'll come in and we'll make myself the bill manager and this Mike Thomas guy. New to us this year is the ability to filter out your bill managers. So if you have in your agency an exceptionally long line of bill managers, now you can come in here and just type in their name and find them and make them the bill manager. So I'll come back to the issue area tags, but the second thing that I must do when I track a bill is pick a division or a department in which to file this bill. So let's say we want the admin and the budget committee or division to look at it. Maybe our COVID response team here, and then we'll come back to this in a second. You can decide a position if you would like for your individual divisions. And then perhaps most important for your reporting is this priority level. So You can give this a priority level of 1 to 5. 1 being the highest and 5 being the lowest. Just make sure internally you all know if it's 1 is the highest and 5 is the lowest. We don't tell you what that is. So inevitably someone will have a problem where they have one person on the team or multiple people on the team said 1 is the highest priority. And then there's one person who thought they give 5 stars to an Uber. So 5 is the highest priority. Just make sure everybody's on the same page there. 1 is the correct answer there if you want to get really OCD about that situation. All right. Do some water intake there. The next thing we've got here is a scorecard bill. You most likely will not use this option. That's mostly for associations that rank the legislators at the end of session, although interesting. The next thing we've got here is this tracked bill situation. So basically what this allows you to do is track or monitor a bill. Now, the only difference to us, oh, excuse me, in my hermetically office here, who knows what I just swallowed. The only difference here between track and monitored bills is that monitored bills will not show up on your report. So the reason you may want to monitor a bill, and in Oregon, most people monitor a fair amount of bills, is because we can have such broad relating to clauses. So if you're watching relating to revenue or relating to transportation, and you just don't know if that's actually going to pertain to you at any moment because it's such a generic bill at the beginning, you can come in here and monitor that bill. And then as amendments come forward with that bill and as it changes through the process, then you can come back in, edit your tracking, and change that to a tracked bill. So keep that in mind as you're going forward and you need to look at budget bills or something really generic. You don't need to track them necessarily. You can keep them as monitored bills. You'll still get all the calendar invites on them and all that fun stuff. Okay. Then down here, we go to show options here. The first option that we have is we can set a lead manager. So remember, we had picked Michelle and Michael first, and we'll say Michelle is the lead manager. The next is this reviews request. So we had picked the 3 divisions that are tracking this bill are the admin, the budget, and our COVID response divisions. So now we can come in and say in our admin division, you'll see we've got our budget group. We can say, okay, I want, let's see if I'm even listed in here. Yep. We'll have Michelle review this bill. I could give her a little note if I wanted. Please look at section 10. And then all I have to do is come down here, save and continue. That bill will go out the door, send the review to Michelle. If I had picked a group, it would send it to the 5 or 10 or 20 individuals in that group. They'll individually get an email, and then I can move on to the next one. Most likely at the beginning of the session, you're going to move pretty quickly, and you'll be able to just come in here, assign a bill manager and a division. We moved this save and continue button to the top as well. So now you can come up here and just save and continue at the top here and not have to scroll all the way down. One last thing on these issue tags before I move off this page. So the issue tags are new to us a couple sessions ago, I believe, but just to kind of remind people, issue tagging is basically like hashtagging a bill. You'll be able to run a query on it in your reports. So up here in this issue tag area, you can tag something, whatever you want. Maybe this is Shannon's favorite bill. Now this tag has been tagged for each division that is tracking the bill. So if Shannon pulls up Shannon's favorite bill issue area up here in a tag, she will get these 3 divisions tracking the bill. Now, this issue area tag here is specific to this division. So if you come in here and you say, okay, this is a housing, well, I've used that before, a housing bill. Now this is attached to only this division. This tag is not going to pull up for the budget and the COVID response division. All right. My little warning here always is, you know, on Instagram where someone will post something, there's like 30 hashtags on that and you don't read any of it. Remember that with these is that more may not always be more in a tag. I haven't seen it happen yet, but that's just my, my worry. But so all we have to do now is save and continue. This bill has been tagged and we can quickly move through the rest of these, tagging them, assigning them to a division, saving and continuing. Okay. All right. So the last thing, so that is the tracking queue. You can start to get in there, add bills into your queue, take a break, grab some coffee and come back and they'll be in the wizard and you can move through them that way. All right, but now let's go into, oh wait, let's finish this drop down just real quick. Today will be bills dropped into the system today. So if you need to come and do that, recent will be the last 7 days, 7 to 10 days. And then tracked bills will be, of course, your tracked bills for that session. There's a couple of interesting filters in here. One is this hearing scheduled filter. So if you want to come into this drop down and click on this hearing scheduled, that will give you only your bills with hearings scheduled, which no surprise, none of mine have been scheduled yet. And then here in this active bills only, or Oregon only, what that allows you to do is when committees start to shut down and all your bills have been stuck in committee and start to quote die, this filter right here, when you run this tracked bills, it will take out all of your dead bills and only keep the ones that are still active. So try to remember that. It's a really small box, which I think is a mistake on our part. So hopefully someday it'll be a bit bigger. Same with this hearing scheduled box. I think those are two very helpful queries as you're trying to, or filters as you're trying to drink from a fire hose during session. The other thing that's a bit new to us is this latest committee. Oh, got updated today. So now you will see the committees in here and you'll be able to say, okay, what's in my Judiciary Committee and my bills that are sitting in that committee. Okay, so so that will be helpful with your tracked bills, figuring out workload, which committees you're going to watch, all that fun stuff. All right. Also in this dropdown is this reviews tab. I'm a big fan of this reviews tab. What this allows you to do is come in and filter essentially all the bills that you need to be completed, all the reviews that you need to be completed. You can complete reviews that have been asked of you. So we have this that I need to fill out. I can do that from this screen. I can come in here and send a reminder to Michelle here to complete this review. Now that's gone off into her email to fill out. You can say, you know what, I actually don't even need this review and delete that review request if you don't want that anymore. So become familiar with this drop down on reviews. You can also query by reviewer. So if I want to come in and say, okay, I want all the bills that Michelle is looking at, you'll see here I've got one listed here as my login. And then you can also filter by bill, fiscal impact, or governor review. So if you are in charge of all those fiscal impacts of the governor review stuff, you can come in here, filter by maybe a division that you need and the fiscal impact if that's helpful to you. So that was under bills, reviews. All right. Next, let's go into a bill detail page. I'm going to go back in time to one that's actually been in front of both the chambers before. So I'm going to go into my search here. So I just went search. I'm going to go back to the 2019 session. You can see here, I can go back all the way to the 2007 session. I could search in here over my issue areas. Remember, those are the tags that we had put out there. I can look by committee now. I can go in and look by my priorities, but I'm just going to go in and look for this bill. There's a relating to clause search here. So I can click on search. You'll see I've got House Bill 2001 from last session, from 2019 session, I should say. I'll click on that. And anytime I click on the bill number, I am brought to the bill detail page. So here on the bill detail page, you'll see a relating to clause, a summary, the sponsors are listed here. If I needed to, I could go in and edit my tracking. That will take me to that page where we assigned all the tracking stuff. I could remove all the tracking. Please don't do this if there are other people listed up here. Check in with people before you untrack any of the bills. And then I can come down here and see what's been tagged on this bill, and then also the interested parties that are tracking this bill for our firm or our agency. All right, and their positions and priorities. Next, you'll come down here and see a bunch of different tabs listed. So this is all information just for this one particular bill. So you'll see here we've got Documents tab, all the different bill versions, the amendments, proposed amendments. You've got different documents listed here. These are all live. The staff measure summaries are on here. I think this makes people kind of motion sick when I scroll through it, but you can click on any of these at any time, look at them, read them, do what you need to do in that world. Okay, that's the documents. The next tab here is the history. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's kind of how the bill became a law here. One of the helpful things in this tab is this nays section. This basically gets rid of having to walk into the clerk's office and grab that sheet that says how people voted. This is a good time to tell you that we pull information from the system about every 4 minutes during session. So if you don't see anything right away from committee or a vote, just grab a drink of water and come back. The one thing with committee delays is on our end is that we are only as fast as the committee staff. So give them some time to upload their committee documents or anything that happened in committee. And then once that's loaded into OLS, we will pull that pretty rapidly into our system. All right, meetings in here. I suspect you'll be living a lot in this tab this year. This is a great way where you can come into the bill. You could force this onto your calendar, and then you can also come in here and watch this committee. I should also tell you that all of your meeting invites this year will also have the link to the committee. So you can, when you add those into your Outlook or iCal or whatever system you work in, Google, and you click on the bill, the meeting invite, the link will live in there. And so you can just click off that off your email as well. So keep that in mind. We're trying to make that part pretty seamless for you. I'll come back to notes and we can talk about reviews, since a lot of you will live in the review world, a tremendous amount. So these are all the reviews that have been done for this bill. These are all fake. That's hopefully the people will be giving you much more intelligent reviews than I am giving here on these demos. But you can see now this year we've added the ability to delete reviews. So if you don't like this review, you can come in here and delete it. That will, when I refresh, I'll take it off the screen. You can come in here and remind people to complete their review just by clicking that paper airplane. You could come in here and complete this review if this was a review that you were required to do. And then new to us this year is this add review. And I'll come back to that in one moment. But first, let's go in and request a review. Chances are most of the time you will be requesting a review from this page. So you'll just need to come in, pick the reviewer that you would like. And let's find myself here. There I am. And then I don't want to forget mentioning this, but you can also pick the version. So let's say you already have sent out the version, intro version to me to be reviewed. Now you can come in and say, okay, I need you to look at version A as well. New this year as well is the ability to set a due date. So I can come in here and say, all right, I want it done by the 23rd at 4:30. So now you've set a due date for that, for this review, and then you can type a message. I'm not going to because I want to show you what our default message looks like, but that's always an option for you if you want to give them additional instructions or you have a particular section you want them to review. All right, so I click save. That view or that review has now been sent to Michele, And when it comes into my email, we will go in and look at that email and complete the review. So let me go get that quickly. Just a second. Maybe. There it goes. Sorry, moving all these little boxes around. Okay, so I think we're in. Here we go. What bill were we trying to do here, though? We were in 2001. So let me wait for that and see all the people that send me terrible. All right, well, that's not, we'll come back to it in a second. Let my email catch up to me for a minute. I confess it's a bit slow today. Okay, so under this review, the next thing that we're going to look at here is this, is the accepting a review. So once the review is completed, it will come in and it will look a little bit like this right here. So this has been a review that has been completed. We have a couple options here. We can come in and accept this review. We can archive this review, and then we can also garbage this review. So for the sake of today, I'll come in and accept this review. It will ask me if I would like to keep my existing priority and position, or if I want the review's priority and permission to override mine. So we'll go in and we'll keep our existing one. More than likely, that's what you'll want to do. Accept that position. And now you'll see it turns this color here, this like blue color. And that means it's an accepted review. So when I come up here to our notes section, you'll see that the completed review, the accepted review here, those notes or comments that were made in the review have now moved over into this section. All right, the next thing we can do in here is trash can anything. We can delete, we can edit these notes, and then perhaps most importantly down here is you can add in your own note here by simply writing the note that you would like and assigning it to a division. So that's the notes, pretty helpful for any of the reports that you do later on. All right, the same is true here for fiscal impact statements. You can go in, request a review here, put an attachment on there if you would like. Those were the attachments that I had sent out. You can have, pick your reviewer in here. You can also have, a fiscal group. Just remember to do that under the user settings, set up a fiscal review group if you would like, and you can give it a due date and time again and a message. So that's basically the same thing. When a fiscal note is completed, this send button will be listed here. You can click on that and that will take you to this section here. It will attach the fiscal impact review. You can write a text for it. The subject is listed here. You can send yourself a copy if you would like. So if you would like to add a copy in here or send yourself a copy, because it's not coming from your email, so there won't be any sent mail receipts there. You can do that. And then we will preload all of these committees will be listed in here and the members. So you can come in here and add them. With the fiscal, though, I think you send them to this legislative fiscal office, and there's all the people listed in here. I'm going to cancel that because that is live and I do not want to send it to people. So keep that in mind in your fiscal impact statements for that send button as you're maneuvering that. Same is true with governor reviews here. Just come in, request a review, do the exact same rigmarole. They'll fill it out on their end and send it back, and then you can send that on to whomever it needs to go to. All right, we're moving. In here in the materials section, you can add any material that you would like, and I strongly recommend that you put as much information as you possibly can into these bills so that as session progresses from year to year, you will be able to keep track of those bills. So here you'll see, you'll be able to link those bills to previous bills. I'll show you that in a second. So all you have to do is come to add material, here, give it a name, a description, a date if you would like. You can drag and drop something in, you can upload something. You can copy and paste an entire URL if you would like. So you can come and put that here. Just remember, if you do want a website to be listed in here, copy that entire tab, not just like if you're on OregonLive.com, don't put just that in there because it won't know what story you're referencing. So you need this entire long link. And then you'll have your materials loaded up in here. And then just like the fiscal review, impact reviews, you can come in here and send that out. You can click on whatever attachment you would like, give it a subject, a text. This is a very large box so you can fit whatever you want in it. You can send yourself a copy again. And then again, we have all of these people preloaded in here. You can come in here and add them. We also have down here all the staff and the default staff email so that you can submit your testimony in here as well. And if that's not in there, it will be very soon. All right, cancel that. So that's some of the materials. Next, we've got votes in here. We've got different levels of votes. They took 2 votes on this in the Senate, so you can kind of toggle between those votes. The next tab we have here, many of you do not use this function, but for those of you who do, we can talk just briefly about it. This allows you to vote count a bill. So as you're moving through the session, you can come in here and say, okay, and assign a vote for this bill. Also new this year is this add a notes section where you can come in here, add any kind of note you want, assign it to a legislator, and then you'll be able to save it in here just like this and edit those or do whatever. So that will be updated with the new legislators too. And then once you do your vote count, you can come up here to save votes and you'll get this kind of pie graph of it to see how close you are to the vote count that you're trying to reach. Also new here is this print button. This allows you to print any of the pages. So this will be formatted to look pretty nice here if you would like to print this page. All right, kind of rounding the bend here, end of session notes. You can come in here and write any end of session notes that you would like about the bill, the summaries that you have to write, etc. You can come in and put all that in there. And then also finally here on the bill detail is the ability to link bills to previous sessions. Also, you can link bills to this in the same session. So if you are working a bill on the House side and there's a similar or exact same bill on the Senate side, you can link those 2 bills together in that session. So we can come in here and say, okay, these 2 bills are exactly the same, link the bill. And now I can go in between that bill and the bill I'm tracking and look at all of these bill reviews, fiscal impact statements, materials, notes, anything from the previous session that I've added in there. So keep that in mind, as especially this session, you will have used the system for a while. So go back and link bills to the issues that you've had to deal with before. That will help you not have to start at ground zero for your materials or your testimony or your bill reviews or fiscal impacts. So keep that in mind. Okay. All right, so that's the bill detail page. Next, we'll come over here. We talked a little bit about the search. Just my last kind of comment on this search page is this keyword search up here will look at the we'll look at the summary statement and the relating to clause. So it's a very, very rapid search. It goes very quickly. This keyword search down here will look at the entire text of the bill. So it can be a little bit longer if you're asking a pretty broad word or term. Keep all your phrases in quotes so that if you're looking for public health, keep that in a quote, public safety, quote that. Otherwise it will get public and safety and will not get them together. So this again is the entire body of the bills. And this up here is just the keyword and the summary. And again, you can go back in time and keyword search whatever you need to based on past sessions. All right, let's move into reports here. We have 3 different ways for you to load reports or run reports in our system, I should say. This first way is our template reports. You can see here I've got a list of templates in here. We've got some end of session reports in different styles. We've got all these different activity reports, review status. There's a lot of template reports in here that are really great. So you don't know, we have a custom reporting system, which I'll show you momentarily, but you don't always have to do that. You may find exactly what you want in one of these template reports, and it saves you a little bit of time. We'll do this tracked bills report here. So you'll see once I pick my report template, I'll have to come down and pick the various parameters for that report. So we can pick last actions, we can pick hearing dates from, perhaps I want to pick all of my reports that are in these divisions. If I would like, I can do that. I can select a different format. If I wanted to export into Excel or HTML or CSV, I can do that. I can run it now and it'll look a little bit like this. And for you, hopefully you will put your logo in and it won't have my logo here. But you can also see these are live toggles, so you can always come in and read these bills if you would like once you've run this report. The next thing you can do is run this later. So what this does is allows you to save this report. Whoops, keyboard just went offline. Tracked bills. Once I've named my report, I can save it now, or I can select a frequency in which I want to receive this report. So if I say I want to get this every morning, once a week on a Monday, or the first morning of the month, I could come in here, choose that, and then all I have to do is come in here, write the name of the person with separated by a semicolon here, and now I can put in, I think, up to like 900 emails. So you won't have any problems, I think, fitting in who you want to send this report to. I can click in here and save, and now what will happen is it will come down to this saved reports section, and you can see all of my saved reports living in here. So I've got my tracked bills, the schedule is daily, this is who it's going to, and now I can either activate these various reports here like that, or I can come in and say, okay, I don't want to delete this report necessarily, but I don't want it to run every day. So I can unclick that. I can also come in at any point and edit it if I want to change the parameters, or I can simply say, I don't need this report anymore, delete it, and it will come off of your screen. All right. So that is under the report templates part. The next way to do reports is in our custom reporting options here. What this allows you to do is to pick the individual fields in which you would like to have the report. So we can come in here and say, okay, we want the bill number, maybe we want the relating to clause, the current committee it's in, and the last action. Now I've created a report, maybe I want the notes in there. And you'll see I'm just double clicking on them so they go into their correct color-coded box. But if you just wanted to drag them down, you could also do that. Once they're down here, you can then move them around however you want the report to spit out to you. So keep that in mind, you're definitely not married to however it dumps down into the system. You can move those around. All right. Once I pick my fields, I'll have to come down here and pick the parameters in which I want the report to report. I'm not going to run this because nothing's going to show up, but keep in mind you've got this active bills only down here and our hearings scheduled, which I think are really helpful. Any of these notes from, notes to, or last action from, last action to, what this does, it allows you to say, okay, I want the notes from this day to this day. And if I run this later and I save this report, our system is smart enough to then keep moving that along based on your search criteria. So this was 2 days. So now every 2 days, I will get a report that has those 2 days in it. So it's kind of helpful if you just want to set up a report one time and keep receiving those reports. So you would just come in, give it a name, select the frequency, type in your recipients, save that, and now you'll see loaded here under this saved exports, I have these custom reports in here. Okay, so that's custom reporting. Play along with that. You've got bills in there so you can really see what the different, what they look like to you, and if that's the way you want to receive the information. The final report here is this Excel report. What that allows you to do is move fields over into Excel to export. You can move whatever you want over. I'm double clicking. You can also just click and drag something over. And then once they're over here, you can drag them around however you want them to present in Excel. Then again, once you've selected your fields, come down to parameters and choose the parameters that you would like the report to report out. And again, you have the run now or the favorite run later, where you can give it a name, select the frequency and the recipients, and then you will have it scheduled out. So take some time to do this before session. I think it's a really great way for you to communicate with people without having to do a ton of work here. Really great to kind of keep everyone in the loop. You might want to sign some people up in your office to get these reports now, even if they aren't on BillTracker, just so they're constantly in communication. So think about that now. It's a pretty easy system, but again, if you have any questions, you can reach out to Sherry and I about those report functions. All right. Next, we talked about the tracking wizard. We've got our legislators loaded in here. You'll see today their committees were also loaded in. The district is not populating for some reason, so we'll have to work on that. You can easily come in and write any notes you would like about this legislator. Just remember, this is all public records requestable, so personal opinion is probably left somewhere else. But I'm envisioning this year as kind of holding basically like their Zoom office links or maybe office hours, because everything is a bit different this time around. You just can't walk into someone's office. I think there's going to have to be some organization, and you can help everyone out in your agency by keeping some of that information in this note section. So although not the most used previously, I do think this is a great place to store some of that housekeeping stuff about the legislator, so you can easily converse with them, especially the Zoom office links, or if they have anything like that. These are, of course, live emails, and then you can always go in and check their legislative websites. All right, also, we will have loaded up here very soon is their Twitter feed. So you'll be able to go in, their handles aren't live yet, but you'll be able to go in and say, okay, I want to see what everyone in the agriculture committee is tweeting, probably the lowest of the tweets in the ag committee, but you never know. And then you can search that and get all the tweets from that committee. All right. Finally here, and thanks for hanging with me. I know it's hard to listen to one voice on Zoom for this long, so I appreciate it, but we're nearing the end, and this final screen is very helpful to you and how BillTracker interacts with you. So, so maybe take your head off the keyboard for a minute. But what you have here is basically the way that you want BillTracker to speak to you and to email you. So you can come in here and sign up for third reading emails if you would like. You will probably notice that we have not defaulted you to anything except for this completed reviews email. So if you would like to receive this stuff, click on your account and come in and sign up for it. But you can sign up for a third reading email if you would like. You can sign up for a daily calendar email, which is pretty helpful. Again, this completed emails, completed reviews email. And then I think this is new as well. It's an update, but I think you'll be pretty popular getting a reviews email of all of your overdue emails or reviews. So you'll be able to get this in the morning, know that your first order of business is to harass some people about getting their reviews in here. Okay, you can sign out of meeting invitations if you would like. Probably helpful, especially towards the middle to end session when it's pretty clear exactly what you need information on. You can come in here and opt out of that other stuff. And then you can sign up for basically priority levels for the rest of these meeting invites. Also, these daily proposed amendments email, you can sign up to get an email every morning of the amendments that were proposed on a bill that you're tracking. So come in there and you can sign up for that. The where available simply means in states that we're able to do this based on their system. So we are able to do this in Oregon, so don't worry about that. And then you can also sign up for priority levels on emails of your proposed amendments. If you don't want to just get this, you just want your 1s and 2 tracked bills to get those amendments. Remember to click off all this so I don't have to come back and do it. And then finally, here is this keyword email. So this is a pretty popular function in the system. What this allows you to do is put all the keywords that you could possibly be searching for your agency or your division, pop them in here, and then every morning our system will look through all of the amendments and all of the new bills and shoot you an email of anything that has changed with those, or any new bills if you might be interested in tracking them. So you can see here I've got transportation in there, I've got public safety as a phrase, I've got public health as a phrase, I've got city land use as a phrase, and city and cities. So put what you need in here. This is a very large cell as well, so you can put a lot of keywords in there. So take use in that. And then finally here in the text notifications, I can come in here and sign up for a text towards the end of session. So as public hearing notices get condensed more and more, you can come in and give us your mobile phone and make sure you match your carrier to it. And then we will send you not only an email invite to the hearing, but also a text message. And we only do this when it gets to about within 8 hours of public hearing notice, so in the final kind of days of session. So that is BillTracker and the your account in very rapid speed. So if you have any questions, we've got plenty of time.
This has been a quiet group, Michelle. I have not had one chat.
It's the post
lunchtime
lunch group. Yeah.
No questions from anybody? Okay. All right. Well, feel free to reach out to either Michelle or I if you have questions as you start playing with the system. Otherwise, thank you very much, Michelle. Appreciate.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck, everyone, and hope it's smooth sailing. I mean, one can hope. All right. Okay. Thanks, Sherry. Take care.